If you walk into the courtyard of the Pazhoor Perumthrikkovil temple in Kerala, you will see a seemingly pristine, standard ancient architectural marvel. But watch the daily rituals closely, and you'll notice something strange. The midday procession, known as the Shiveli, abruptly halts after a single lap, instead of the traditional 3. The temple's administrative records contain a total vacuum where the original founding family should be. Then there is the courtyard itself, which is dominated by a bizarre, incredibly ancient jackfruit tree. These aren't errors in design or record-keeping. Instead, they are the physical scars of the temple's history, preserved precisely because of the events they represent. To understand why this specific physical space has been maintained for centuries, we have to trace the specific legends that gave it its shape. These are astrological charts and script carved into ancient palm leaves. Centuries ago, a Namboothiri Brahmin consulted charts like these and was given a grim prognosis. He had exactly 1 year left to live. In response to this impending death sentence, he made a psychological vow. He committed to building a massive, magnificent temple to honor the divine, hoping to alter his fate. That pure intention was enough. He outlived his 1-year prognosis by decades, giving him the time to actually construct the sprawling complex we see today. The temple's physical foundation stands as a monument to a single human's defiance against destiny and mortality. The construction itself was led by a master carpenter known as Aithihyamala. Because he was building a sacred site, tradition required him to remain unshaven and wear a sacred thread across his chest, symbols that made him look like a high-caste Brahmin. One day, a local king was traveling down the adjacent river. Seeing the carpenter on the bank, the king assumed he was looking at a revered Brahmin scholar, and respectfully stood up in his boat to honor him. As the boat drew closer, the king asked the man for his identity. The carpenter, who had a severe stutter, nervously revealed his true, lower-caste profession. The king realized he had bowed to a common laborer. His ego bruised, the king erupted into a violent rage. He drew his weapon and executed the carpenter on the spot for the perceived humiliation. Back at the temple, the midday procession was making its rounds. Suddenly, an unearthly voice echoed through the courtyard, the deity's voice halting the procession in mourning for the murdered architect. They never finished that lap. To this day, the truncated procession acts as a daily record of social history, keeping the memory of caste violence and divine empathy alive in the courtyard. Then there is the mystery of the missing administrators. The original Namboothiri family, who held the hereditary rights to manage the temple, lost their position through pure arrogance. The head of the family was an undefeated chess player. So confident in his skills, he wagered centuries of his family's administrative rights in a single game against a rival Namboothiri. He lost, and his family was permanently erased from the temple's governance. Finally, there's the peculiar jackfruit tree. Legend says it started when a temple worker accidentally dropped a sacred golden pot into the river and dove into the deep water to retrieve it. Instead of hitting the riverbed, he swam into another world. There, he was offered a piece of fruit so sweet that he stole a single glowing seed, smuggling it back to the surface to plant in the courtyard. These quirks show that cultural heritage preserves more than just high ideals. It captures everyday human flaws, the gambling, the arrogance, and a persistent curiosity about the world beneath the river. When you walk into the Pazhoor Perumthrikkovil today, you are seeing the convergence of wood, stone, and story. The courtyard is a record of a community's fears, their social traumas, and their magical beliefs, all held in the shape of the architecture. We do not protect bricks and mortar for their own sake across centuries. We preserve the stories attached to them. Legends act as the invisible architecture, turning a mundane piece of wood or a single lap of a procession into a witness to history. At Pazhoor, the wood and stone don't just stand, they remember. As long as the community carries the story, the space itself remains sacred.